This is your separation anxiety video, okay? This is an important video for you guys who your dog has separation anxiety. I've been dealing with separation anxiety since I started my business 13 years ago. It is a giant problem in society, okay? And I think I have a pretty darn good way to deal with it. It's different than a lot of ways you've ever heard, all right? We're gonna do it with Loopy here. She's a puppy. She does not have severe separation anxiety. However, puppies often have mild separation anxiety. I put separation anxiety into 3 categories: mild, medium, and severe. Mild is puppy stuff. Most puppies have it. They whine, they bark for a period of time when you leave. They whine, they bark in their crate. You can just give them good chew toys, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. That should solve it. Moderate to severe is different, and severe separation anxiety is a legitimate, full-on mental disorder. Why do I even say that? Because mental disorders take a lot more work, and they take you thinking outside the box in order to fix them, right? Any mental disorder, human or dog, takes a lot of work. It doesn't follow the same sort of rules that just any behavior follows. It's a totally different type of behavior. So it's a 3-pronged approach that I take with separation anxiety. The first thing is chew toys. The second thing is exercise. And the third thing is to leave for progressively longer periods of time while recording your dog. All right, so we're gonna start with exercise. It's probably the least important of the 3, but some people need to do more exercise before they go. Some of you don't even think about exercise, don't even think about a walk. You're just gonna get out some of that pent-up energy. This is gonna help the puppy stuff, the mild, and the moderate separation anxiety. It is not gonna fix nor really help the severe, but it's gonna help the other 2. Walking before you go. I'm not talking about playing ball in your backyard. That's not real exercise. You might think it is, but it's too boring. You need something, walks, or take them out, do something with them. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that, but that is one important thing that some of you need to do. Number 2 is probably the biggest of the 3, and that is chew toys. So I have them right here. These are the only 3 chew toys that, in my opinion, 4, fit the bill of safe, reinforcing, long-lasting. You can go to a pet store, walk the aisles, and you're going to see 3 aisles on stuff like this. There's only 3 that are safe, reinforcing, and long-lasting, in my opinion. That is a Kong filled with wet food and frozen. Oh yeah, Joel, I put peanut butter in it. No. I used to dole this out to my dog 4 times a day. My dog got half his diet when he was 7 months old out of Kongs. I'd sit in front of the TV every night and fill 4 Kongs with wet food, put it in the freezer. He'd get half his food from Kongs. Okay? So for your separation anxiety dog, you are going to fill this up, freeze it, and they're going to get it before you go. Okay, we're not done with this though. Bully sticks. Bully sticks are good. They're pretty safe. You got to be careful they don't swallow it. You're going to give them all of these things and watch them multiple times before you ever leave it with your dog. But bully sticks are good. They're pretty safe, they're pretty reinforcing, and they're pretty long-lasting. By the way, when I say long-lasting, Costco bully stick, that's what I buy all the time. They last my Dobermans 45 minutes. There's no 2-day long-lasting thing. There's 45 minutes is long-lasting. If it's reinforcing, think about it. They're going to be chewing on it the whole time. We're not talking a day or 2 days. 45 minutes is long-lasting. And one of my personal favorites, a Marrow Bone. Not the cooked ones. Oh, but Joel, it might shatter. These don't shatter. That's a cow femur. That's a 1/2-inch raw bone. It does not break. Hardly ever. I've seen 1 crack. And then, so your Marrow Bone, super good for them. Then you can even take the wet food, fill up the Marrow Bone, save money on Kongs. Okay, now I'm going to get to what you do with these in a minute. And last, it's kind of the 4th one. You'll go broke buying these things, but it's kind of a Yeti, or they're called different things. And it's basically like the Himalayan people used to make this, and it's like yak milk, cow milk, lime juice, and that's basically it. This is a good thing. It's a little expensive, but dogs like it. So, safe, reinforcing, and long-lasting. So here's what you're going to do. You are going to give one of these things. Oh, by the way, drop your dog's food. You say, Joel, my dog's not into it. Okay, if your dog's a 70-pound dog, it probably eats 4 cups a day of food, maybe 3.5. You're going to drop 1/2 cup out of that. So if it eats 4 cups, you're going to give it 3.5, and the base decrease is going to kick in about 4 days. So if you go 3.5 cups instead of 4 for 4 straight days, day 4, your dog's going to be hungry and they're going to be into this. Now, severe separation anxiety does not mean that they're going to just love this right away. You might have to drop it a little more. You can always bring their food back up when they get better. The best thing in the world when you leave, the best thing in the world just walked out the door. We need to give them the second best thing in the world. And if they're hungry, food can be the second best thing in the world. So what you're going to do, you're going to take them on a walk. Then you're going to come home. You're going to set up your phone. You're going to give them one of these things. You are then going to go outside your house, or they often hear your keys and hear your footsteps or hear your car start, but you're going to go walk around the block. You're going to come back in. You're going to check your phone. Now, what the goal is to do is to walk in while they're working on this thing. Because separation anxiety is a superstitious behavior. That means it's a behavior that's been inadvertently reinforced. You'll see it like at SeaWorld, you'll see a whale jump and it'll kick its tail. It's because what we did is the whale jumped and we didn't see the whale, the tail flip up. We didn't mean to reinforce it. We blew our whistle and reinforced it. The whale said, oh, he reinforced me for kicking my tail. Well, actually, we reinforced you for jumping high. We didn't see the tail kick. So what happens is what you guys do is you leave, the dog whines, then you go, oh, I forgot my keys. You walk in the house, the dog was whining, goes, oh, the whining got her home. You reinforced the whining. You didn't mean to, but you did. So we have to walk through the door when the dog is not whining and when the dog is working on something. And then the dog goes, she walked in and I wasn't even whining. I guess my whining doesn't get her home. Okay, so we got to catch them. That's why I say not to go to the store for 2 hours. I'm just saying walk around the block and you can hopefully catch them walking when they're not whining. Then you're going to look at your phone and you're going to see if they're working on this thing. Loopy, come here. Loopy, you want this? Oh my goodness. Loopy, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's the greatest thing ever. It's disgusting. Greatest thing ever. Dogs like disgusting things. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to leave. Come on, Dawson, we're going to walk out. And you're going to go walk around the block. Walk, walk, walk. Hopefully the dog is going to just be working on its thing because you've dropped their diet, so they're hungry, so they're working, working, working. You walk around the block, then you're going to come back in to the house. Oh, look. And that's what you want. You want the dog sitting there working on the thing. Then you're going to check your camera, your phone. And you're going to see, because sometimes the dog sits there and they listen and they kind of hear your car start and then they start whining. But they almost always listen, okay? You're going to see, like, when do they start whining? When are they calm? When do they eat their thing, whatever we gave them, okay? Does that make sense? So that's what you're going to do. Come on back in. Then you're going to progressively be leaving for longer and longer period of time. I realize many of you have to go to work. Sometimes you're just going to have to give them the thing and you're going to have to go to work and hope for the best. That's essentially my three-step process. Exercise, chew toys, leaving for progressively longer. Okay? Now, a lot of you ask about crates. It's a tough thing. If the dogs can hurt themselves on crates. So if they have severe separation anxiety, should you leave them in the crate? I don't know. They might hurt themselves getting out of the crate. You got to be careful of that stuff. You also don't want them tearing up your furniture. I've worked with dogs that have jumped out of windows. I've worked with dogs that jumped off a second story. Okay? And now with COVID, or when these COVID dogs, you've been with them all the time, you got to be on this now. And for you puppy people, be proactive about it. My dog constantly had stuff to work on when we left, just to be proactive about it. He'd have a Kong and I'd give him this thing. I'd come home and my dog would just still be working on whatever we gave him. And he'd be like, hey, what's up? I'm just working. Or he'd be sleeping because he was working. He was working so much. By the time they eat their thing, you can give him that and give him a food-filled frozen Kong. And if they're hungry enough, by the time they're done with it, they don't want to go tear up the house. They're tired. They've been working. Their mouth is tired. Okay? That's separation anxiety in a nutshell. That's it. Subscribe, comment, do the deal. Tell me how it's going with your dog.